Alright YouTube, just in case you didn't catch the first video I posted, this is the last Road to Kyoto tournament. This is game 2 for a best of 5 finals. Right now, Battlestar StellarFire is up by 1. He won the first match, which I've already posted, which is on Bay of Many Faces. He's playing against Iron's Nero, which is part of Total War Italia, it looks like. And again, this is the final game of a 78-player tournament, and Battlestar is up with 1 win. This is the Namawaza map, and I'm going to initially zoom out so you can see the overall battle while I go over army composition and key buildings. Key buildings are farmhouse, archery dojo, and shrine. So farmhouse, archery dojo, shrine. Both players are moving to the shrine. Let's go over Stellar's composition. His composition is 1,560 men deployed. He's got a total of 16 units, and those units are, in the skirmishing department, 1 Matchlock Monk, level 5, increased range, 1 Matchlock Sam, level 5, increased range, 1 Daiki Samurai, level 7, with increased range and ammo. His infantry is 1 Nagi Monk, level 6, 1 Long Yari, level 8, 2 Yari Sam, level 7, 3 Nodachi, level 6, 4 Nagi Attendants, and his cavalry is 2 Light Cav. So that is Stellar's composition. Nero's composition is a grand total of 725 men, 1,725 men, 15 units. He's got 4 light cav, which gives him a numeric advantage in the cav department. He's got 1 Matchlock Monk, level 5, increased range, 1 Portuguese Terços, level 5, increased range. And his infantry is 5 Nodachi, level 2, going for the cost efficiency, 1 Wako Raider, level 9, with Bonsai, a devastating unit potentially, 1 Yari Sam Vanilla, and 1 Nagi Sam, level 9, no special abilities, just all poured into traits or characteristics. So that Nagi Sam is hidden in this forest right now and is not visible to Stellar. Everything else, though, I believe is visible. So in the infantry department, Nero has a clear advantage. In the skirmishing department, Battlestar has the advantage, Stellar has the advantage with the Daiki Samurai along with his matchlocks. In the cav department, the advantage goes to Nero again by numbers. Let's see how each player uses their advantages. So again, infantry advantages to Nero. He would be much obliged to gain an engagement because he could probably win it in the infantry department as long as the matchlocks of Stellar are not able to stop his infantry. Stellar is going to want to push his range advantage with a 200 range Daiki Samurai. Stellar is moving to try and cap the shrine. Nero is going to move to uncap it. Stellar is also in control of the farmhouse, and I don't believe anybody is in control of the archery dojo. So something to be aware of on this map as well, there is a mound here, here, and here, which prevent matchlock line of sight, so you don't always get clear line of sight, so that's why you can see the Stellar positioned his matchlock here with open line, and again here with an open line just past the shrine. So good deployment. Right here the Daiki Samurai are already baiting Nero forward. They've gotten 14 kills on his Matchlock Monk, which is unfortunate. Here comes a light cav charge, attempting to push back the Matchlock Monks, decides against it, and his light cav gets decimated. So that was obviously a mistake by Nero. I understand what he was going for. It was risky proposition, to say the least, and it didn't pay off in this case. But over here, he uses his extended range and gains the first volley against this Matchlock Samurai, which does not have extended range, so Battlestar is forced to pull back. But the Daiki Samurai continues to unload on this Matchlock Monk and has done 20 casualties to it at this point. So that Daiki Samurai is making its presence known. Over here you can see, again, good positioning by Stellar. He's got clear line of sight. He's got a Nagi Attendant to interfere with the enemy matchlocks. He's gotten the first volley, but then here comes the volley from the Portuguese Terços, and it evens up that fight immediately. And then the 2 Nagi Attendants are going to clash. Nero decides to push an infantry engagement now that the matchlocks are busy exchanging with each other. I think this was a good idea on Nero's part. If he sits here in a skirmishing exchange for too long, he's going to lose the skirmishing exchange, and his infantry is going to become vulnerable. So he's going to go ahead and charge forward and hope to use his infantry to its advantage. Look at this light cav of Stellar headed straight for this, well, it was headed straight towards this Portuguese terços, but Nero is now going to chase it off with his own light cav. Infantry engagement begins here. Stellar gets the better charge downhill into these Yari Samurai, but he's got these Waka Raiders there, Nero does. On this engagement, or in this flank, no infantry engagement yet, but you can now see that Nero is going to commit to an infantry engagement. So he's rushing forward to meet in both the center and on the flanks. Right here, this long Yari met these two Nodachis, which was not a good move by Nero. Here, a cav charge into the flank of this Nodachi, fairly effective, but his Yari Samurai was absolutely decimated. He starts to break through this long Yari right here, so that's going to turn for him. He's trying to get rid of these matchlocks, which is exactly what he needs to do. If either player is left with matchlocks in a late game engagement, it can decide the engagement. Here, Stellar gets a little bit of a surrounding move on these Nodachis, and he's making a move for these Naga attendants here. Here's that Naginata Samurai I talked about. It's engaged over here with a Naginata Warrior Monk. It's not doing so well. So from the overall, you can kind of see what's going on here. Nero has so far not been able to get a hold of this matchlock unit, although he's pretty much finished this matchlock monk, and right now Nero has a matchlock advantage. This Daiki Samurai is engaged with Nero's general, and it's going to get routed. So Nero has gained the skirmishing advantage at this point, and with Banzai, he's now going to start to turn this infantry fight, and he's going to be doing very well here, whereas he's struggling more over here. But he does have these matchlocks. Right here, this matchlock monk had been shooting Stellar's general, it still is, and the Daiki Samurai are desperately trying to stop that, but they've now been routed. So look at this line of sight. Excellent use of his matchlock unit, recognizing that this general was on elevated ground, and that matchlock monk is going to pick away at this general's bodyguard. Now his own general moves in, and he's going to be able to kill Stellar's general. So the fight is really starting to actually sway into Nero's favor for the most part. The one danger that Nero faces is that this matchlock samurai has gone mostly untouched, and it's now going to start unloading on Nero's men, and this Daiki samurai is not shattered. The other disadvantage that Nero has right now is that his cav is routed, whereas Stellar's got 2 light cav, and he also hasn't pulled this Nagi attendant back to assist with the fight. But clearly Nero is winning an infantry engagement in the center. But right here, those matchlocks unleashed a volley that actually really damaged his own men, routed one of them, and nearly routs and ends up routing the Yari Samurai too. So a bit of bad fortune there for Nero, but the fight is far from over. It's still anybody's game. And see here, this Daiki Samurai comes back. That is also very bad for Nero, and he still hasn't pulled this Nagi attendant unit over, which is not good. But in terms of an infantry engagement, I'm very happy with what Nero did. He did it better than I could have as well. He engaged with his infantry like he should have. He had an infantry advantage, and he didn't want to sit around, let Stellar skirmishers win a skirmishing fight, and then start to push on his infantry. So I think he made the right move. It was a tough move, to be honest. He's playing a good player, and a good player is not going to make it easy to get a hold of his skirmishing units whenever you perform an infantry rush. He's going to use those skirmishing units to chew up your infantry rush. So also, Nero has his general, whereas Stellar has lost his general. Dangerous situation here for Nero's general. This matchlock is reloading and in position, and it opens up a volley. Fortunately, only gets a couple, but it ends up killing this Nodachi samurai, which was of great importance. So very close call for Nero's general there. This matchlock samurai was still 59 men, and then you got a Portuguese terço over here with 74 men, which opens up a decimating hit on this matchlock samurai. But these Daiki samurai here, but since this is a terço, this unit has a lot of armor, and the Daiki samurai is not going to do super well against it unless it gets out on open ground. So as long as he stays in this forest here, he's going to be doing very well. So he does have the cover from the arrows. The arrows will cause some damage, but it'll take a long time for him to cause the damage. As you can see there, trees very much are the bane of archery units. So trees will really screw you up. These terços have a good position, they're getting good kills, and they're taking slow casualties to the arrows. You see they still have 72 men. Here he moves them a little bit forward, which I believe is a mistake. I don't think he wants to take these guys out of the woods. I would just let those Daikyu Samurai keep firing, because I think the Daikyu Samurai would run out of ammo before they could actually kill this Matchlock unit. At this point, each player desperately needs their Matchlock units to live, because they are the they are the gold of late game exchanges, because in late game, when your infantry is low and all other stuff, Matchlocks can deliver a devastating morale and numbers blow. This is why, again, I don't think I would have moved this out, because look, he gets stretched trying to defend it with his Naga attendants, and this light cav gets a hold of the Portuguese Terços, causing a great deal of damage. Now, Terços can hold their own temporarily in a melee engagement, but you can see here he's losing a lot of men. Down to 38 men now, 37. That light cav paid a price. His own general becomes in the line of fire, so I kind of think Nero should be in a little more defensive position. He should have started running this Naga Tendon a long time ago as well, but he's definitely still in this game. He's at an infantry disadvantage at this point, but his Terços is still a very dangerous unit, because the Matchlock Sam of Stellar is quite damaged, and plus he's got a general for morale. The Wako Raiders over here suffer a charge from the light cav, which is bad, and that's going to make their effectiveness a little lower versus these Yari Samurai, but he does get a very well-timed Banzai right before that rear charge that would have routed them. The same rear charge that actually takes his general out. So Nero is going to lose his general, but also Stellar losing a lot of cavalry there. These Wako Raiders continuing to do their bloody deed, and it is a close fight to say the least. These Portuguese Terços still in the game, but again, now they're on open ground. Daikyu Samurai is going to be taking its toll. But as you can see, it is close, folks. Very close. But Stellar still has cav. It's going to run a hammer and anvil here. There is Banzai on, but it's going to do its damage. And the problem is that Nero is running out of melee units. He's got to protect his Matchlocks as well as get rid of these bows, and he's forgot to bring this Nagi attendant over, which means that now guarding his Matchlocks is going to be near impossible. If that Nagi attendant were here, where he could guard these Matchlocks, I would actually call this fight in favor of Nero right now, because I think his Matchlocks could do so much damage while he's disrupting these bows that he could rout this infantry, because at this point, you know, the routing of just a few units can cause this power bar to tip in your favor, which then makes your other units rout. But you can see that Stellar's just running circles here until he finally is going to be able to get around. All he needs is just a little bit of damage to this Terço, and it's going to break. And he gets it right there. Pulls straight back out the way he came, of course, which is required, but like I said, that was enough. Terços is shattered, and now it's game over for Nero. So a well-fought battle, I thought, on Nero's part. He made a few mistakes, but he really pushed his advantage home here, and even with those mistakes, very, very nearly took this battle. You got to give props to Stellar, though, too, here, for putting up a, forgive the pun, a stellar defense. He had to defend against a rush, and he managed to keep his Matchlock. His bow did get killed, but he brought it into safety once it came back from routing, and it played a critical role in forcing Nero out of these woods where his Terços had a good position. I think that, you know, Nero, like I said, probably could have kept his Terços there a little longer. I'm not sure these Daikyu Samurai had enough ammo to effectively entirely kill that unit while it was in the woods. But you can see Nero going to make an attempt here, and I'm not sure he ever recognizes that this unit's over here, or he just feels like it doesn't matter, the battle's pretty much over. I don't know. But I still thought it was very well fought by both players. A very close battle. I thought this one was pretty epic. Very much enjoyed it. Obviously a little different than the first battle in the sense that they had to do more skirmishing. So this is 2 games to Stellar. So Nero now has the pressure on, because if one more game goes to Stellar, then that is the tournament. So let's go look at the statistics screen. Hope you all enjoyed this. I am very much enjoying these tournament battles. I like them. Like I said, I don't like to play the game super competitive. I kind of like, you know, like, yeah, sure, I want to win, and I try and play to win, but at the same time I like to play just kind of on an amateur level to have fun. And so it's fun to watch these matches to see how people choose to play this game on a competitive stage. And again, both of these players had to win their way through many rounds of a tournament to get to this point. And so they had to defeat some good players to get here. Any one of the 78 players in this tournament good enough to take on a player like me and win time and time again. You know, it's not to say that I may never win a victory against the people in this tournament, but I mean, we're talking about good players, and I have a lot of time on Shogun 2. I'm not a competitive player. I'm a decent player, and we're talking about people that could pretty consistently steamroll through me. And so again, these are good players, and you know, it makes it sound like I'm trying to toot my own horn here with it, but I'm really not. What I'm trying to say is that when you take an average or standard player like me, these tournament players are usually above average, and they're quite good. So it's fun to watch them play. I learn from watching them, and at the same time, you know, in some ways it's a type of play. When play becomes too competitive, I get to the point where I don't enjoy it, which is why I don't play a lot of tournament play. It's not to say that I never will or may never enjoy it, but at the current time I don't. In any case, let's take a look at the unit statistics. Again, very good game to both players. A lot of good moves on both sides, and it's fun to watch and to learn from that. So there's Stellar's unit statistics. Let's put these in order. Daiki Samurai picked up 157 kills for 90 men. That's a pretty good exchange. It's an expensive unit, but a pretty good exchange there, and especially considering that it made a kind of a game changer there in the end. His Nodachi Samurai fought well. His Matchlock Samurai did very well. Long Yari Ashigaru could have done better, but it did fairly well in slowing down that infantry rush, so I would say it did serve a purpose in the end. If we look at Nero's men, it's Portuguese Terços. Look at that beast. 260 kills. This is why I'm thinking he shouldn't have moved that thing out of the woods. That thing had a lot more kills left in it. His Wako Raider played very well, and his Nodachis did okay. Two of them could have done better there, and then the ones down further, of course, could have done better. Look at his general there, though, kind of clutching it out and getting 90 kills. Some very important kills, too, part of them on that Daiki Samurai, so props to Nero there. Again, good game. Let's go watch the final replay.